The intent of this video was to review the March 6, 1944 Mission to Berlin series portrayal with regard to accuracy. Some of the episode inaccuracies can be considered nitpicky, some major. Context and justification of the episode clip challenge will be provided. The March 6 mission to Berlin is significant as more 100th Bomb Group B-17s were lost on that mission than on any other mission. Also, more 8th Air Force bombers were lost on that mission than on any other mission. As illustrated on this chart from a declassified 1945 Army Air Forces Evaluation Board document titled 8th Air Force's Tactical Development. The x-axis is the date of the mission. The vertical lines represent the number of bombers lost per mission. The mission with the largest losses occurred on March 6, 1944, which is highlighted here. 72 bombers were lost. This value includes Category E. Category E are aircraft that are damaged beyond economic repair, as defined in this 1945 Statistical Summary 8th Air Force Operations document. This is an example of a Category E B-17. A summary of the March 6 mission is shown on this page from a March 7, 1944 8th Air Force Daily Summary of Operations document. 812 heavy bombers were dispatched, 504 B-17s, and 226 B-24s from the 8th Air Force. Bombing accuracy was poor. None of the targets were hit. The bombers dropped their high explosive and incendiary bombs on Greater Berlin urban areas with poor results. Strong enemy air opposition was encountered. Flak was heavy and accurate. Bomber gunner crew claimed 93 enemy aircraft shot down, 44 probables, and 66 damaged. The definition of destroyed, probably destroyed, and damaged, and accounting for the bomber-gunner overclaims have been covered in the channel's previous videos. Escort was provided by 957 U.S. fighters and 31 RAF Mustangs. The fighter support is provided in relays. We will unpack fighter support in the channel's next video. In this clip, the 100th Bomb Group's Thorpe Abbott's home base tower and ground crews are counting the returning bombers from the March 6 mission. They stopped counting when they reached 14.
11, 13, 14, 15.
This page summarizes the disposition of the 100th Bomb Group's 35 B-17 sent out to support the March 6 mission from the Tactical Mission Report. They were sent out in two groups, A and B. The routes taken by the A-B groups are shown on this map from the post-mission summary. The location of flak, enemy fighters, and escorts are identified by symbols on the map in addition to time and altitude at route points. We can process the text narration into a chart outlining the end-of-mission status for each of the airplanes dispatched. 6 of the 35 airplanes aborted the mission. Another 15 were shot down, and one landed at another base due to damage. Group A's 9 B-17s landed back at Thorpe Abbott starting at 4:02 p.m., and Group B's 4 B-17s landed a half an hour later. Total bombers landing equates to 13, not 14, as B-17 tail number 306 landed at an alternate base. This table represents the 100th Bomb Group's roster from the March 6 mission to Berlin. The table is sectioned by Group A and Group B. The columns represent the pilot's name, squadron number, aircraft number. The 3-digit aircraft number is stenciled on the bomber's vertical stabilizer. For example, this plane's tail number is 767. Plane 767 is represented by this highlighted row. Bomb loadout, where 10 times 500 implies each B-17 carries 10 500-pound general-purpose M64 bombs. A cutaway of the M64 is shown on this page from a 1945 U.S. Naval bomb disposal document titled Bombs and Fuses Pyrotechnics. The bomb's weight equates to 525 pounds, and it contains 267 pounds of TNT. These were the most common bomb types dropped by U.S. heavy bombers in World War II. The destructive effect of various general-purpose bombs on residential housing is shown on this image from a 1945 Office of Chief of Ordnance document titled Terminal Ballistics Data, Volume 3. The 500-pound bomb's blast and fragmentation level of destruction is shown on this row. B-17s have the bomb rack capacity to carry 12 500-pound class bombs, as shown on this table from a 1945 AAF Air Technical Service Command document titled Tactical Planning Characteristics and Performance Chart. To meet the range requirements, a load out of 10 were carried during the 7-hour, 54-minute flight. The target was the electronic components plant at Bosch Works. If the target could not be hit, drop your bombs anywhere in the center of Berlin. The 15 missing planes are highlighted in these rows. Crew casualties, where plane 767 had no crew casualties. Only 2 planes landed with wounded. Plane 767 was not one of them. Bomber battle damage. 3 bombers landed with serious damage and 8 with slight damage. This chart describes the battle damage of tail 767. All of the damage was from ground artillery flak. Holes were in the supercharger oil tank, tank door, left horizontal stabilizer, vertical stabilizer, left wing panel, and leading edge. None of 767 damaged locations were on the fuselage. This is why none of 767 crew members experienced injuries. Given the sequence of scene cut, injured crew members were taken from tail 767. The clip should show injured crewmen from planes 807 and 306, not 767. This clip is interesting. As a medical corpsman approaches bomber number 767, something is off. The armband is on his right sleeve. But in an earlier clip where the medics are running towards 767, the armbands are on their left sleeve. Since he is approaching the bomber from the left side, a trailing wire antenna should also be visible, but it is not. Also, the clip shows the aft crew door on the left side. It should be on the right side. All B-17s were built with the crew door on the right side. The episode editors mirror imaged the clip. Instead of capturing the image correctly like this, the clip was mirror imaged like this, where the features on the right side become left and left right. Any film editors care to offer a theory why this might have been done? A major issue is that by March 1944, the B-17 models would have mostly transitioned from the F to the G. To reduce vulnerabilities to head-on attack, more forward-facing firepower is required. A Bendix chin turret was added, as seen in this image, to mitigate this vulnerability. The turret's arc travel is shown on this page. Total ammo capacity equates to 365 rounds per gun. This image shows the exterior features of the chin turret from a 1944 B-17G field service manual. The guns are controlled by the bombardier using a controller and gun sight. As discussed in previous videos, the chin turret increased the bomber's forward-firing combat effectiveness by 60%. Most of the hundreds B-17 should have chin turrets. These started showing up at the end of 1943. This image shows a B-17 with a chin turret over Germany. The image is dated January 1944. This chart lists the formation positions of the 15 A group bombers, and the G models are all highlighted. RE indicates return early. So clearly, the models portrayed in the series are not the next generation G models. This is a big deal. It would be equivalent to showing Grumman Wildcats instead of Grumman Hellcats engaging Japanese naval aircraft during the Battle of the Philippine Sea. In this last clip, a crewman laments that miner was shot down on his 25th mission and implies a German shot at the parachuting crewman.
On their 25th, motherfuckers went after our guys in parachutes.
This image is miner's missing aircraft report. The crew station personnel are listed with the number of credited sorties. Captain Miner has completed 24 missions, as has 4 other crewmen. Their position within the 18 airplane formation is shaded here. The plane was lost to fighters. 4 parachutes were observed. The narrative does not indicate that they were fired upon while in parachute. I could not find any other documentation supporting the premise this crew was fired upon during a parachute descent. It would have surely been well documented. In summary, the March 6, 1944 mission to Berlin narrative did have some inconsistencies that did not conform to what actually occurred. Some are nitpicky, some are major. They miscounted the returning bombers, counted 14 instead of the 13 that arrived at Thorpe Abbotts from completing the mission. They mirrored a clip where medics approached bomber tail number 767. Tail 767 is filmed as having crew casualty when none were documented. Correct period B-17 models were not represented. Most should be fitted with the chin turrets. None of the B-17 shown had chin turrets. A crewman claims that miner's crew was fired upon during parachute descent. I could not find any substantiating documentation confirming this event. If you've enjoyed this episode deep dive accuracy check review, please consider liking and/or commenting on the video.